So Battle K Road is a mostly forgotten fighting game from 1994. It didn't have any ports, which is too bad because the game is pretty low budget and it would have been pretty easy to port, to be honest. I mean, in comparison to something like Mortal Kombat or any really SNK or Capcom fighting game at the time. And then plus you would have known my pain. Anyway, 1994 was apparently a pretty dead year for fighting games, with only these games coming out in the arcades. Because of the lackluster games coming out, this company named Psycho, spelt wrong, because they're idiots. Anyway, Psycho has never made a fighting game before this. So they were like, hey man, we've never made this kind of fighting game, and these games are the only games that are coming out this year. So why don't we make our own fighting game and we make it different, make it stand out? And to make it stand out, what they did is they made it based on reality. Okay, I'm being a dick, but no, honestly, it was a cool idea. Kind of like an updated version of Karate Champ or Best of Best. Well, in theory, that's what it was. Because their version of reality was hurricane kicks, flying punches, 2 cyborg men, and a bear named Mr. Bear. All things you find in a realistic MMA tournament. I mean, I guess I should talk about the actual gameplay or something. Okay, I'm pretty bad at this. Okay, so this game plays differently than other fighting games around this time period, in a few ways, so let's go over those quickly before this becomes a dreaded review show. In most fighting games, the wake-up game, the knockdown game, all that shit is super important, but in K Road, it's eliminated, because every time you get knocked down, the match stops briefly. Honestly, this is the most interesting part of the game, and the one aspect I still find kinda endearing. It forces you to play the game differently, playing the smart game, only striking when you think you can land a powerful strike, or knock the opponent down, which is the most realistic aspect of the game. Let me emphasize that this is all in theory. Knockdowns reset your positions, which can help you get a breather or get you out of a disadvantageous position. Unfortunately, the whole game is built around this mechanic, which sounds cool, sounds like a really good idea, but it hampers the game in the end. So, the one endearing part of the game I like is the one thing that actually is fucking it. Just fucking it. The other major difference is the special moves. Instead of being a tap or motion based, K Road has you hold down, either the heavy punch or heavy kick, hold the direction while releasing, and this will have you perform a variety of special moves, which are just like roundhouse kicks and, big punches. Realistic things like that, or flying punches, or whatever this is right here. Anyway, here comes the issues. The other issues. Of the 14 characters, 7 characters actually, since each character has a clone, but whatever, that's fighting game sometimes. The game is based around quick and hard strikes that can knock your opponent down. The problem is that the big powerhouse characters are extremely hard to knock down, and because of that, certain animations that would be safe with most of the cast just leaves you wide open for the big characters. It's not that big of an issue since the game itself isn't actually that difficult. You might get stuck on 1 or 2 characters, but really it won't be too difficult. To deal with the characters that don't knock down easily, there are exploits. They're bugs that can be exploited. Like Mr. Military, who can medium punch people into oblivion. There really isn't much else to say about the gameplay. The game doesn't learn from any games that came before, or that were coming out at the time, so it doesn't have much tech. It's simplistic, and because of the balance issues, the game is more boring than anything else. Some fights might have those moments, the fun moments where you're like, yeah, everything going well. But most fights are just blocking everything until you can find an opening to knock your opponent down. Well, while trying to go for realism, they also went for portraits that are drawn to look like real people. I'm pretty sure that's just Arnie from Terminator. Like, it's not even based on him, it's just him. Do you think they asked? Like, I mean, they have to ask, right? Since it's just fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fuck it, who cares? Not like he was going to find out. Nobody played this game. Also, why does the main character look like a 1970s porn star? Like, who thought their Ryu needed a mullet and a porn star? What is going on? The funniest thing about the game, and it's probably, well, no, it wasn't supposed to be funny, but the funniest thing about the game is, even though the animation is minimalistic, it has to be. It's like a cheap game, right? Even though the animation is super minimalistic, they still animated bouncing boobs on the two female characters. Like, really? You couldn't spend money to animate your characters more properly, but your two female characters, they gotta have them titties bouncing. Like, that's super important in your martial arts game. So I guess that was Battle K Road, a boring mess made apparently before any good fighting games came out. Or at least you'd think so, because they thought they could get away with this. Made no money, and these guys went on to basically just make shooters games, and never touched fighters again. Oh wait, they actually did make another one like 4 years later. Wonder how that turned out. I guess I'll just try it. Oh, I should have made a video about that instead. Oh, fuck!